What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode of KTI. I am your host, Brennan Ryder, alongside my co-host, Amir. Amir, great to see you today. Just to give a quick recap on this format. So Amir and I will be picking topics out of a bucket here, sharing four each. We'll have 2 minutes to give our answers. And then once you hear this sound here, you will know that your time is up and we're moving on to the next topic. So we'll try to keep this fast pace moving. Again, we each get four topics. So Amir, we're just going to jump right into this one today. First question I have for you is around the Oklahoma City Thunder, the best team in the league right now, currently 17-1 on a pretty
Wow.
insane pace. Do you think they have a shot at beating the Warriors' regular season wins record?
17-1 is wild for defending champions. That's
And missing guys too. It's pretty insane how deep this team is.
it's unreal. I mean, like their offense and defense are amazing. They're a complete basketball team that just has been overwhelming teams for 48 minutes. Like Shea is playing like a legit MVP candidate again. Like he's automatic in the mid range and controls the tempo in the game. And like you mentioned, like they're not even fully healthy. J-Dub hasn't even played a single game yet, which is crazy. He's like the connector on this team, the second playmaker, second scorer on this team behind SGA. So it's wild. And Chet's taking he's making a little leap, offensively, and he's their rim protector and can space the floor. So they got the depth, the shooting, and no drama. Like this team is just a perfectly constructed team, and they don't take a night off. They're young. They don't they don't load manage. So can they get to 73? You asked. I'll say I don't think so. Like, is it possible? Yes, but I just don't think they're gonna do it. Like, this was a tough record to break in general. The Chicago Bulls had it for a decent amount of time until the Warriors had that epic season where they had historic shooting, they were healthy, their defense was insane, their chemistry was insane, like Steph and KD, like what a duo. So um I could see them winning like 67, 68, 69. Like I just even 70 would be crazy, right? What are the Warriors, 73?
73-9. I definitely agree. I kind of see them in that 70 range for sure. Now, do while you have your last couple seconds here, does the schedule play a part into this? They have had the easiest rated schedule up to this point and do have the hardest remaining schedule of the teams for the rest of the season.
Possibly. I mean, yeah. I mean, I would assume it plays a small factor, but every night, like they're the defending champs. Like every night, like you would hope that everybody's going to try their hardest to beat them. Like, I don't think it's similar to like necessarily that Warriors team, like with Kevin Durant and Steph and Clay and Draymond, where every team like that was their Super Bowl. And also like when the Miami Heat had our big three with LeBron, Bosh, and Wade, like everybody tried their hardest, right? Because that's like their Super Bowl that night. So that could be a factor, maybe, right? And we'll see when the schedule gets a little bit tougher. But in general, they
They
look
look
so
so
good. I don't think it matters
dominant.
fully, but they're so
Right.
dominant. The
Yeah, it
point
truly
differential is
doesn't matter.
insane, dude. The
Yeah.
point differential's been insane. Like they're not just winning games; they're dominating. So
Yeah. No,
yeah, we'll
they're a
see.
scary team, and God, James Harden is saving us from them having a top 7 pick right now, but we'll see.
Oh my god, that's insane. All right. Anyway, let me pull something out of this bucket. Um. All right. So your topic is the Pistons. They keep winning. They just set a franchise record, tying a franchise record, winning 13 straight games. So my question is, do you think they're the favorites in the East? Not to win the championship, but are they the favorites now in the East? And also, can you predict which team will finally break their win streak? So you could take a look at the schedule and pull that up. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, the Pistons have looked so good. I kind of love them, honestly, at the end of last year, and they had that great series against the Knicks where I really think they could have upset the Knicks, and we saw how far the Knicks got, um, and how good that team is. I think right now they kind of are the team to beat in the East. I think the Cavs are still trying to figure things out. Um, Obviously, we're still waiting on the Magic to kind of pull their stuff together. But if you look at the top of the East, you have the Pistons, the Raptors, and the Heat in the top three. I think three teams we would not have placed in the top three of that conference to start the year. So the East seems to just be completely wide open, and Detroit kind of just continues to separate themselves. Now, looking ahead on their schedule, they got a pretty tough slate of games coming up. They got Boston on Wednesday, then Orlando on Friday, then your Heat on Saturday. I mean, that three right there is going to be interesting because Boston's no slouch, no matter what their record says, and that's championship DNA with the Celtics. I think the team that probably scares me the most for them right now is the Magic, coming up on Friday the 28th. The Magic without Paolo, little Ewing theory going on right now with Paolo Banchero and the Orlando Magic. They look really strong. Their defense is finally, I think, what we thought it was going to be at the start of the year. That's coming into form. And then Jalen Suggs is just an absolute monster. And I think someone that could give Cade a little bit of trouble. But I think that's the team I'm kind of keeping my eye on right now in their next slate of games to maybe trip them up on this win streak. But I love the Pistons. I think Cade, Jalen Duren, that duo right there has been so damn good. And I don't think a lot of people saw Duren taking this big of a leap coming into this season. And the way they played, they're just cruising. Like I don't their front court with Isaiah Stewart and company is just a pain in the ass to have to deal with. And they're an intimidating bunch, and I kind of love the Pistons right now, and I think they are the team to be in the East.
Yeah, I mean, like, I shouldn't be enjoying watching the Pistons play as a Heat fan, but it's crazy to see their turnaround 2 years ago. They were on a like 18 game, or what was it? I can't remember. Like a huge losing streak 2 seasons ago, right?
2 seasons ago, yeah, 2 years ago, they were just the dregs of the NBA, and here they are at the top of the East.
Yeah, and they just got Jaden Ivey back too. I didn't realize that. Like, also, so like that's huge. Him coming off the bench, like another like guy who's able to score, obviously, and is very quick, speedy type of guard, like, and another playmaker. Adding another playmaker next to Cade, like, I don't know what his role is going to look like, but
And
they're a
another
fun
good
team, man.
scoring
I like
guard.
Cade.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Cade he's proven to be potential MVP. We'll see. We'll see. Long way to go. All right. Next question for you, Amir. Let me grab my question here. So Jokic is on his way to winning another MVP. Speaking MVPs, where do you have him in your top 10 all time if you were to retire right now?
Where would I have him in the top? I don't even think he's in the top 10. We'll start there. So I
Excuse
think,
me. Where would you have him in your all-time ranking? Sorry, I'm jumping the gun because I'm almost ready to put him in there, just with how good and transformational that guy is.
yeah, he's spectacular. Like, he's been playing amazing. Like, he's been playing like he's Neo in the Matrix, and he knows like that. The rules don't apply to him. Like, he's just figured it out. Like, the stuff he does is unreal. Do you see that pass he had recently? Like that around the
To
back pass.
Watson, like
Yeah,
he makes at least two passes every game that just make you completely drop your jaw. Like I haven't seen anyone really control a game like this kind of since like 2018 LeBron, to be honest. The way he controls a game and the way he finds people, he
wild.
is an insane talent. I would play some top three passer all time right now. That might be a little hyperbolic, but I've never seen a guy with as much touch and as much just insane court vision as Jokic.
For sure. Hey, I thought this was my topic, so
My bad, my bad. Let me give you the minute back. My bad.
I'm just kidding. So yeah, this like his passing, shot making, rebounding. To your point, the control of the game, it's just like unreal. And 4 MVPs, like if that happens, like only Kareem, Jordan, and like LeBron, I guess. Like who else has four? Like are those like the four guys? Like he would be in crazy. Like that would be a crazy accomplishment. Like that category that he would be in. But is he top 10 already? Like I don't know. Like I'll say he's top 20. I'll give him top 20. I don't know like where he lands like in that 10 to 20 range, but definitely gonna say not yet. Like he still is youngish, where like he's only been in the league for 9 years, and I mean, the way he plays, he seems like he could play and dominate for at least another 4 or 5 years, like up to age 35. Like, I don't think he's going to slow down dramatically. The guy can like barely jump over a piece of paper, right? He has no athleticism, but like top 10, I don't know. Like, he needs a little bit more of the longevity piece, maybe another title, maybe that MVP. But like my top 10, like, yeah, he's not going to fall into the top 10. But yeah, let's say like anywhere from 15 to 20. Perhaps. But if he wins another ring this year, that can change. Like that could put him in the top 10 category. And he's amazing, man. He's like the best passing big ever, in my opinion. Like, obviously, like one of the best,
Yeah,
probably the best
I think
offensive
that's
center.
pretty concrete. Yeah,
He's the best center, offensive center in the NBA, right? The most complete, like 3-level type of score. I mean, I don't know if that you use the word 3-level with him, I guess, but he kind of is a three.
I
Like, I
would.
mean,
He could score from anywhere. Anywhere
yeah,
he can score in any type of shot. Yeah, the guy is an absolute monster, and just one of the guys I just love watching play. Him and Steph are two of the guys. I'd throw LeBron in there as as a LeBron guy, but those three are guys I'm like they're appointment viewing television. They're so fun to watch.
for sure. Even though I was pissed off that he beat my Heat in the finals, but anyway, let's move on to the next question for Brendan. Ooh, okay, this is a good one. So there was recent news that CP3 is going to be retiring. So what are your thoughts on that in general? But also, where do you rank him all time on the top point guards
Mm,
list?
the top point guard list. Well, I'm really sad to see CP3 hanging it up. I think it speaks to how old I'm feeling and getting. Chris Paul was one of my favorite players growing up. An absolute floor general, the quintessential point guard. I think, which in today's game, I think is a bit lost because everybody can control the ball. But when you have a guy like Chris Paul on your team who understands how to manipulate a game, how to get people the right shots, when to get people the right shots, when to score himself, he was just one of the best point guards of all time, which leads me right into my list of top point guards you're asking me about, and it's a tough list. I think I saw a lot of tweets from people talking about Chris Paul is an automatic top 3 point guard all time, which I'm not entirely sure
Hmm.
about as much as I love Chris Paul, because I do think there's a pretty cemented top 3 in my opinion. Now, I'd
Sure.
love to hear what other people have to say about this, but my top 3 goes 1, Steph. I think Steph is that good, even though he's not retired. I'd put Steph as my greatest point guard of all time. 2 is Magic, and 3 is Oscar Robertson. You could put those 3 in any order you would want. I would imagine it's probably more of a conversation between Steph and Magic, but those 3 I think are pretty cemented in there for me. And then from 4 to 6 is kind of where I see CP3 falling. For me, next, I would put Isaiah Thomas, 2-time champion, one of the greatest point guards of all time, obviously, led the bad boy Pistons, one of the best offensive scorers of the 80s and 90s, and I think someone that's criminally underrated. Longevity, is I think his biggest knock. And then after Isaiah Thomas, I'd probably put Chris Paul, and then after him, I'd go Steve Nash. Even though Nash has those 2 regular season MVPs, I think Chris Paul was just such a more transformational scorer than Steve Nash was. And I think Chris Paul also carried a lot of really subpar teams a lot further than they should have been. A big one for me were the New Orleans Hornets team. I think it was 2011 when they played that pretty stacked Lakers team. And he had them at 2-2, which I thought was insanely impressive with no David West. And I'll just remember Chris Paul, young Chris Paul, just so damn quick, so hard to stay in front of, and a guy that can kind of get that little mid-range elbow shot whenever he wanted. And for a guy who's barely 6 foot to have a shot that's pretty unguardable is insanely impressive. And obviously one of the best passers and floor generals we've ever seen. So I got Chris Paul 5 in my kind of list of point guards. But I think those 4 I have in front of them, it's going to be hard for me to budge on any of those.
Wow, no Russ in your top
I
7?
know.
Look at
I,
this.
I know I'm the biggest Russell Westbrook stan. I'll put him at 0 just because I can't objectively evaluate Russell Westbrook because I love him way too much. I just can't.
And you also left out John Stockton.
I
I'm
did leave
shocked
out
about that.
Stockton. I did leave
Why?
out
Why is that,
Stockton.
real quick?
Um, I just think the other four are a little bit more impactful than John was. John's still incredible. So I have Stockton actually right after Nash at 7. And then right after him, I have Jason Kidd. But I'm not the biggest Stockton guy. He was incredibly great, really great defender too, I know. But I still think Steph, Magic, Oscar, Isaiah, CP3, and Nash are all just better on a different level, in my opinion.
Interesting.
You
I
could throw
don't know.
you could throw the numbers at me all you want because I know there's a statistical case to be made for John Stockton. There definitely is, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not going to say you're absolutely wrong. I just like those 6 guys a little bit more.
That's fair. I mean, Steve Nash never went to a finals, did he? Did he go to the finals? I don't think. No, the
Never did.
Lakers. They thought maybe with the Lakers when they got the White in
That
hand.
dumpster file team, yeah, that was
Exactly.
a
That's
rough stint for him.
hey, the Stockton and Malone. They just ran into MJ.
They
Like
did.
that's
They
part
did.
of it. Like all-time leader in assists, steals. Iron Man never got hurt. Like just true point guard, two-way point guard. Like yeah, I don't know. I mean, Isaiah Thomas is amazing. He's definitely. I made a video on my other podcast
And
about how underrated he is for sure. So
yeah.
yeah, interesting. Yeah, I could see CP3 like in the top 8 at worst. Top 6 perhaps. I think I agree with you. Maybe somewhere
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
6.
He can't be any lower than 8 for me, but I think
I agree.
CP3 at 5 is right where I'd like to have him. And a really clutch player. I know he's going to be remembered for the 2014 series against the Thunder where he basically lost them that game when they were up by however many points with 40 seconds remaining. I think they were up 7, and he was kind of the reason they lost that game. But other than that horrible mark on him, he's been an incredibly clutch player and a guy I would want to have the ball at the end of every game. I would love for that to be the case if I'm a coach. But CP3 at 5, that's what I got. So we got the Lakers are 2-0 with LeBron coming back. Do we think the Lakers can seriously contend in the West with the likes of Denver and OKC at full strength?
Hell no. So freaking mirage. The Lakers suck. I'm the resident anti-Laker fan here.
Really? Really? No love
No,
for the Lakers?
no love for the Lakers. You know this. I mean, you have Luka. You have Luka alone makes you like a top 5 offensive, you know, type of team, and you pair that with LeBron, who's back now. It's only been 2 games, who's still playing at a elite level. Like his scoring isn't there in these 2 games, but he's averaging 10 assists per game. Like he's still going to be elite when he's healthy. We talked about this. You mentioned you still think he's in the top, 15 to 20 range, and yeah, I'm like I could see the 20, like in the 20s.
You see the
But at
bottom end
age
of that.
41 is insane to say. Like I'm like the caveat is he's
That is
41.
true. That is true.
But yeah, that pairing alone like gives you a chance in the playoffs because you have 2 of the smartest players on the same team, and Luka's going to handle the heavy lifting now, and he can manipulate like the defenses so well and get so many opportunities and create shots for his teammates. Austin Reeves is even becoming a better, playmaker. Like you have 3 great playmakers, but the only thing is just their defense. Like they don't really have a defensive anchor. Like that's one big issue for them. They don't really have a true rim protector. Um,
And Aiden out right now too with a knee
Gaines out, and
contusion,
he's
so
not like,
something to look at.
yeah, he's not even the greatest rim protector anyway. But like not having that defensive anchor, I think is gonna be tough, especially in the West. Not having anybody to really guard Joker is gonna be tough. Like he's gonna like cook Aiton and Hayes. Like they don't have an elite defensive type of guy that I think you need. And Joker's lucky that he's playing in this era, that he's not playing against the Shaqs, the Hakeems, the Duncans, right? Like those Ewings. Like that's a different conversation, right? Like would Joker be considered a top guy if he was playing against those types of guys? Probably still, sure, but
I still think it would be.
but there's no one like that in the NBA that he has to go against. It like maybe Embiid when he's healthy, but he's healthy, like 4 days of the entire year, right? So, but yeah, I think they can contend, but I don't think they're like a contender, but yes, I think they can contend as like a top 4 team in the West. But the big question marks are going to show up in their rebounding. I think they're bottom 5 in rebounding. They're bottom 5 in 3-point attempts and makes. They're middle of the pack in scoring. Like that's going to be tough if you're not rebounding well in this league and not hitting threes at a high clip. That makes it tough to win. I know that changes in the playoffs, but
Yeah. No, they all their advanced metrics kind of have the middle of the road, but I just think the Luka factor that's just gonna, like you said, just gonna elevate you. You're gonna have a chance with a guy like Luka.
Yeah,
Um,
Luka and
yeah,
LeBron, even at age 41, like that, like just the IQ they have, like the competitors that they are. It's just I don't know how far they
yeah,
can go in the West against the Nuggets or the
yeah.
Rockets or the Thunder, who we talked about earlier. It's like it's a gauntlet up there in the top half.
It is. Yeah. Apologies to Rockets fans. I should have included you guys in there because the Rockets, they look scary good too. And they're an interesting watch.
For sure. All right, let's see. Let me pull your question. Okay. Lauri Markkanen, he's been talked about recently, and there's a lot of trade rumors around the Jazz potentially trading Lauri Markkanen. So, where would you like to see him go? Like, what contender could use him the most, or like where do you think he would fit in the best to help a contender?
It's a great question. God, and Lauri is just such an interesting piece that can help so many different teams. Um, it's not like the Pistons necessarily need him right now with where they currently are, but I would love to see him in Detroit, um, and just add another kind of more elegant side to their offense, because it's a little Cade and Jalen dominant, and having just a really big, good scorer like Lauri kind of just give them some different looks would be incredible. I did see Mark Stein report what the Jazz are asking for Lauri, specifically from the Pistons.
What
And
was it?
Asor Thompson is going to have to be included in any
Uh,
package. And then from that point, I think it's just a hard no if I'm Detroit. And, you don't really, like I said at the top, you don't really need him at this point. I think he'll elevate you to make you a real contender, but I think the pieces the Pistons have, um, and they're just in a great spot. So there's no need to rush and kind of blow up the core that they have for Lauri. Although I would just love to see that just as a pure fan of basketball. Another place I'd like to see him would be San Antonio if we go out west. Kind of pairing him with De'Aaron, not pairing, but having him play with De'Aaron and Wemby again just gives them such an insane new dimension offensively. And I think that would be an insanely tough matchup and tough guard for any team playing the Spurs. I would imagine Dylan Harper would be a part of any type of trade that the Spurs would have to come with, maybe even give them that Lakers first round pick they have in 27. But I would love to see Lauri with the Spurs. But again, I don't think San Antonio's in any rush to do that, especially with the juggernaut they have in Oklahoma City that they got to continue to deal with. So I think continuing to build the way they've been building would be what I would do if I'm the Spurs. But Lauri there again would be interesting as a fan. And I think the one that probably makes the most sense in my head would be the Atlanta Hawks.
mm,
I think the Hawks could probably give up Kristaps, Luke Kennard, maybe a pick. But Lauri in Atlanta with Jalen Johnson and Trae Young is insanely fun to think about. And I think that would take away a ton of offensive burden off of Trae. I think my only concern there would be, can we still allow Jalen to flourish and continue the leap he's making? Because I don't know, he's kind of proving to be Atlanta's most important player right now, especially with Trae being out as long as he's been out. But those would be my three teams for Lauri Markkanen, a guy that I'm dying to see on an actual contender or at least a team that's in the mix. I'm tired of him being wasted in Utah. I'm sorry, Jazz fans. I'm sorry.
yeah, it's been 4 seasons. It's kind of crazy. Like he's been there for quite a while now. So he's a good piece. Him and Wemby, 2 7, 2 7-footers like that with
That could
the
space the
ability to
floor. Like, oh
space
my
the floor.
god.
Both of them can hit the three at the high clip. That's crazy.
Oh my god. It would be so fun to see that. And then with, a speed demon like De'Aaron, I think that would just be so fun. Um, Especially with the Spurs infrastructure. I think that would be a
That's
lot of
game.
winning in San Antonio if you got that. But San Antonio's still on their way. I really like Dylan Harper, so I'd be a little reserved to give that up. All right, here we go. Amir, so your last question I have for you today. Your Heat. Tyler Hero returns. They get the win. They're third in the East. Just want to give you the floor, let you kind of go ISO here. What are you most excited about and happy about with your Miami Heat? They look great.
I mean, 5-game winning streak. They're finding ways to win games that they would have lost the last few seasons. So it's a sign of a good team and a team that's growing and developing. Like usually bad teams find different ways to lose games and blow games. And again, that was the Heat last year. Like just blew so many 17 double-digit leads like in the fourth quarter. Like every game was a clutch game, and we were just finding ways to lose those clutch games. This season, we're finding ways not only to blow out teams because we've been outscoring like the Chicago Bulls. We were up by like, I forgot the final score, but I think we won by like almost 30 points or so. We were up by 45 at one point against the Grizzlies. We were up by 50 something points, won by 40. Like it was unreal. Last season, they only scored above 140 points like one time or something. They've done that like 4 times this season alone, and it's been 16 games like in the regular season. Like, so their offense, I love seeing it. Love seeing Tyler Herro come back. Didn't get to play with Norm, which is unfortunate. Like he sat out with a groin injury. He's been dealing with that early on in the season, and missed 3 games and came back and was playing very elite and playing at an all-star level. So he had to sit out last game against the Mavericks, which is unfortunate because I want to see what does a backcourt look like with Norm and Tyler. The only issue is we take Davion. I'm assuming Davion's going to have to come off the bench, like unless Spo decides that, like while Wiggins is out, he's out as well right now. So maybe he plays ultra small Davion, Tyler, Powell, Bam, and Kalel. That could be super interesting until Wiggins comes back. Once Wiggins comes back, like we need to play him like
He's
at
been
the
so
3.
good this year.
He's been so good as a
so
two-way
good.
player. Yeah, so like just this team is just it's fun, man. Like it's not just the defense, which is our calling card. I haven't looked at defensive and offensive rating lately, but like since last week where they're at, but like their defense has been great, and now they're backing it up with the offense. Like I think they're top 5 in points per game still. They have to be. They were number 1 for the first couple weeks of the season. They were number 3, I think, the last time I saw, maybe 3-4 days ago. So that's scary.
Yeah.
Like when they're good on offense and defense, like this team can contend. And like I think it's for real now. And we have our 24-point game score from last season and all-star Tyler Herro now. And I just again want to see him with Norm. Like that's the only thing I'm disappointed about so far is just when are we going to see them play together? And this team has been doing this without Tyler, and he came back and they still found a way to win. He still looked really good and didn't look rusty, scoring.
No.
How many points did he have? 27 or something like his 25 or something in his first game?
Pull that up for you.
I think it was 24. I think it was 24 and 7 rebounds.
Yep, 24, 12 of 18. Look good in that new offense too. I mean, isolation heavy with a ton of movement. I feel like that's a perfect type of scenario for Tyler Herro. And then, like you said, with Norm Powell too, that's a scary, explosive backcourt. And if you do bring Davion Mitchell off the bench, imagine him and Jaime off the bench. That's a scary second unit you got to deal with. So,
and Pelle Larsson, he's been great. He was starting for Tyler Herro, 2nd round draft pick. Like, what a steal that we got him for like the 54th pick overall in last year's draft. Like this guy's looking like a great 2-way type of player, that fits the Miami Heat system perfectly. So
yeah, I haven't even talked about your boy Fontecchio too. So
he's been down, baby. It's what we don't.
Good.
Like,
they've been so good.
He's been great. He's just on a cold streak these last 3 games.
I'm sure he'll turn it around. He will.
Yeah, well, he's a freaking role player. Like it's funny how people get mad at role players. I'm like,
yeah.
I say this as a joke, and I don't mean this, but like role players are scrubs to me. And like the echelon of players, you have superstars, then you have all stars, then you have stars, and then you have maybe star role players. But then like if you're a role player, you're expected to have 5 good games, 5 bad. Like it doesn't have to be like equal like that. But then like you have 1 good game, you have 3 bad, then you have 2 solid games, and you have 1 great one, and then you have a bad one. You're a role player. You're inconsistent for a reason. Like you'd be a star if you were consistent, right? So
Draymond had to say about, I don't know if you saw what Draymond said on his pod about role players, but he calls them swing players. Their job is to just swing momentum of a game. He was talking in the context specifically of playoff series, supposed to swing a series, but kind of like positioning it that way. I think that's a smart way to look at it. These guys are just supposed to swing momentum of a game, not supposed to be you expect this out of them. I expect 24
Exactly.
right upon Tucky. I was like, no, you expect him to hit a few big timely shots that swing the momentum back to you.
Play good D, get some rebounds. Like you have give me 10 points a game. If you give me 15, 18 one night, then we have a higher likelihood of winning as long as everything else is clicking, right? So,
Yeah.
all right, Brendan, my question for you is: will LeBron's All NBA streak end this year? Because he's already missed 14 games, and you have to play 65 games or more to be eligible. So he can only miss a few, and they still have a lot of back to backs, and they like to load manage, especially when LeBron's going to turn 41 in December. So, do you see a world where he is going to go for it and continue making the All NBA team for would it be 22 seasons in a row?
It'd be 22, which is nuts. Insane that we're even having this discussion about a 41-year-old, and insane that he made second team All NBA last season as a 40-year-old. Unfortunately, I don't see a way he honestly is even eligible for All NBA status this season, because as you said at the top, 14 games he's missed already this season, so that leaves him with 3 more that he can miss in the remaining games. And we know at this point in LeBron's career, especially with this current Lakers team, I don't think there's any reason to push for regular season records and accolades. LeBron's status and his legacy is what it is. I think everything here is additive, and the most additive you can do is win in the postseason and win another finals. And for him to get to 5, I think would make the GOAT conversation that much more interesting. So I anticipate the Lakers are going to be pretty cautious with how many games he plays the rest of the season. And even with that, I think last season he averaged 24, 8, and 7 on 51% from the floor, which is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't imagine he's gonna quite keep up with those numbers this year. I'll happily be wrong and happily admit I'm wrong if he does prove to be that good again this season. But as a second, third kind of option, with this is now clearly Luka's team, you have a guy like Austin Reeves who can take care of the ball and handle a lot of the scoring and a lot of the creation. Not a whole lot of reason for LeBron to have to push and be as dominant as he's been in his career. I think he can finally take a back seat. And as he said earlier this week, he can fit into any type of system, any type of offense. And I think we saw that in the first 2 games. He definitely relinquished a lot of the control to Luka and Reeves specifically. And I think that spells a lot of good fortune for the Lakers come postseason time. If you can have a fresh LeBron come April with a young Luka Doncic and a young Austin Reeves and a really solid role core with Rui Hachimura and company, I think the Lakers can make some noise. Not to step on your answer from the question I asked you, but I do think they can contend, and a lot of that will be contingent on LeBron's health come springtime. So I don't think he'll make All NBA this season. I will plant my flag there. I think the streak will end. But I think, again, the fact we're even having the discussion about making it 22 years straight just speaks to what an insane NBA player and what a GOAT LeBron is.
Not the GOAT, but one of the GOATs.
One of the GOATs. He's my GOAT. He's my GOAT. I'll say that. But I'm not mad if you have Jordan, but LeBron is my GOAT.
No, mine's Kobe. I'm just kidding. I hate the Lakers.
But this after you crapped all over the Lakers, you can't take Kobe there.
No, do you want to hear a hot take though before we close? I think Kobe might not be in my top 10 all time, since that was part of the top. I know. Roll the eyes.
No, he's not mine either.
Is he not?
No, he's not. He's not. I know.
I know.
People are gonna think
we're crazy.
We're not ball knowers. I don't know.
We're TikTokers. We don't know shit.
We don't know anything.
We build our teams on TikTok. Or not TikTok, 2K.
We're just fans.
Yeah.
But, Kobe's still an all-time great, but not my top 10 either.
Interesting.
All right, Amir. Well, thank you for your time this week. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving. And everybody out there, I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving as well. Great holiday season. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Helps Amir and I be able to make this type of content for you guys. And thanks again, everybody. And we'll see you next time.